Once upon a time, in a bustling industrial town, there lived a young man named Ethan. He was a hard-working technician at the local factory and had a wise mentor, Mr. Wallace, who had guided him since his apprenticeship days. Mr. Wallace was known for his vast knowledge, exceptional skills, and the invaluable advice he gave to young technicians. Under Mr. Wallace's mentorship, Ethan learned the importance of perseverance, humility, and dedication. Talk less, do more, and never stop developing your skills, Mr. Wallace would often say, and Ethan took those words to heart. He absorbed every piece of knowledge he could, honing his craft and becoming a reliable and skilled technician. 10 years passed, and Mr. Wallace, feeling content with his teachings bearing fruit, announced his retirement. The factory held a grand farewell for the beloved mentor, and Ethan was deeply moved by the outpouring of gratitude and respect for the old technician. Now, as the most experienced technician, Ethan stepped into his mentor's shoes, eager to continue his legacy. Ethan continued to follow Mr. Wallace's teachings with unwavering dedication. He kept his words to a minimum, focusing on the work at hand and supporting his colleagues whenever needed. Every day, he aimed to improve himself, learning from every challenge and failure that came his way. The factory recognized his commitment, and he was well regarded by his peers and superiors alike. However, despite his exceptional skills and reliability, Ethan noticed a disheartening trend. Many of his less capable colleagues were being promoted while he remained in the same position. He couldn't fathom the reason behind this disparity, and it began to weigh heavily on his mind. One day, unable to bear the mystery any longer, Ethan decided to pay a visit to Mr. Wallace, who had since retired to a serene countryside cottage. He hoped his old mentor could shed some light on the situation that troubled him deeply. As Ethan shared his dilemma with Mr. Wallace, the wise old man listened intently, nodding empathetically. After a thoughtful pause, Mr. Wallace asked, "Are you certain you have become indispensable to the factory?" Ethan furrowed his brows, considering the question carefully. "Yes, I believe I have," he replied, confidence tinged with uncertainty. Mr. Wallace paced back and forth, his eyes reflecting wisdom beyond his years. "Then, my dear Ethan, I have a task for you," he said with a knowing smile. "Take a day off, use any reason you like, and let the factory operate without you." Ethan was taken aback by the suggestion, finding it hard to believe that his absence would make any difference. Nevertheless, he trusted his mentor's wisdom and decided to follow his advice. The following day, Ethan submitted a time-off request, and with a mix of excitement and apprehension, he waited for the day to pass. When he returned to work after his much-needed break, he was astonished by what he discovered. His colleagues had encountered numerous problems throughout the day that they couldn't handle without his expertise. They realized just how much they relied on him for guidance and support. Recognizing his importance, the factory manager called him into the office and promoted him to the position of senior technician. Expressing gratitude for his dedication, Ethan was deeply grateful for his mentor's advice and the outcome that followed. He continued to apply the take-a-day-off principle whenever he felt his contributions were being taken for granted. Every time he returned, the situation improved, and he gained more recognition and appreciation. Months passed, and Ethan's confidence grew. He believed he had found the key to success, the secret that would forever ensure his growth and recognition. Yet, unbeknownst to him, there was still a lesson to be learned. One fateful day, as Ethan approached the factory gates, he found himself unexpectedly blocked from entering. A sense of foreboding washed over him, and he rushed to find out what had happened. To his shock and dismay, he learned that his employment had been terminated. Confused and devastated, Ethan couldn't fathom how everything had gone so wrong despite his dedication and success. Feeling lost, he went to visit Mr. Wallace once again, seeking guidance in the darkest moment of his life. Mr. Wallace welcomed Ethan with warmth and compassion. Seeing the young man's pain, he began to speak with gentle wisdom. "You see, my dear Ethan, you only understood half of the lesson I tried to impart." "What do you mean?" half of the lesson?" Ethan asked, his voice tinged with confusion. "The first half, which you grasped well, was about making yourself invaluable by being reliable, skilled, and humble," Mr. Wallace explained. "But the second half, equally important, was about finding the balance between being indispensable and taking care of yourself." Ethan's brow furrowed as he listened intently to his mentor's words. "You see, Ethan, if a light bulb is always on, people take it for granted. It is only when it goes off that they notice its absence," Mr. Wallace continued. "But if a light bulb goes off too frequently, it becomes unreliable, and people seek a more consistent source of light. The key is to strike a balance between shining brightly and conserving your energy." Realization washed over Ethan, and he understood the profound truth behind his mentor's words. While his take-a-day-off strategy had garnered recognition, it had also made him appear unreliable in the long run. People needed to rely on him consistently, not just when he returned from an absence. With gratitude and newfound wisdom, Ethan thanked his mentor for the life-changing lessons. He vowed to learn from his mistakes and find a healthier balance in his life, both at work and with his loved ones. From that day forward, Ethan embraced resilience and reliability as twin pillars of success. He continued to excel at the factory, but he also made time for himself, ensuring he wasn't taken for granted while remaining steadfast in his dedication to his craft. In time, Ethan's resilience, dedication, and newfound wisdom earned him even greater respect and admiration from his colleagues and superiors. His reputation as a reliable and dependable technician spread beyond the factory's walls, opening new opportunities and possibilities. Through his journey of success and self-discovery, Ethan realized that true prosperity lies not only in professional achievements, but also in nurturing meaningful relationships with loved ones. He learned to appreciate the light others brought into his life and expressed gratitude for their presence. And so, the tale of Ethan, the young technician who learned the true meaning of resilience and dedication, became an inspiration to many. His story served as a reminder that while ambition and hard work are essential, finding balance and cultivating meaningful connections are equally vital on the path to lasting success and fulfillment.